Ah, man. This is one of the most anticipated games for me personally. Because I played the first one, really enjoyed the first one. And I'm glad I played it for the first time this year because it's still pretty fresh in my head. And this one seems to take place just about like right after the first one ended. Let's see what they got, man. Let's get some details, man. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. Let's go.
I definitely. I'm sore all over. Oh, my mouth most of all.
Glad to be of help then. Take care.
The open medieval world.
What? Hey, yo, why is his mouth sore? What the hell? You know what I heard? I heard that if you played the first one, remember how they had this like little star, this little like what do you call it? Like a little starfish kind of thing with the fighting. You have to aim, like choose how you move your analog, whatever, to like block or swing. I heard now it's like just four now. Before it was five. So I heard that. Let's see if they're gonna mention that.
World of Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 was built with even greater authenticity in mind than its historically grounded predecessor was capable of. Whether you played the first one or not, there are plenty of potentially overlooked details you'll want to pay attention to.
You fight like an old hag.
Sometimes because it might help you succeed on your journey, and other
Wait, it still looks like it's five, right? Am I bugging or nah? Or maybe this is just this whole like A is like one. Am I bugging? It looks like well, I guess the whole color turns red, so I guess it is four, but it still looks like a damn star. Okay.
attention to.
You fight like an old hag.
Sometimes because it might help you succeed on your journey, and other times because it's just a neat touch of realism. In this month's IGN First, we'll be taking a look at 8 little things you won't want to miss in Kingdom Come Deliverance 2.
Alright, we're like a month and a half away.
Wait, that's my pebbles.
Henry, the hero of the Kingdom Come Deliverance saga, will get the chance to reunite with a number of old friends from the first game if you know where to find them. And one of them is a 4-legged friend who's been given a bit of a special buff for the sequel.
Oh,
The
word?
first horse you gained in Kingdom Come 1 was called Pebbles, and many players really loved him, even though he wasn't really good. We in offices really love him as well. So you can get Pebbles even in KCD2. And another secret, really hidden perk for this horse, when you ride on him for quite some time, he'll improve significantly. So now you can love him and he can also be good.
My girl.
Okay.
I thought they killed you down by that pond.
While in a game like Skyrim you may be able to pack your coat pockets with fresh fruit and set off into the wilderness for days without worry, KCD2 is a bit more unforgiving in how it simulates perishable foods. But it also provides you with historically accurate ways to solve this problem.
All the food in our game spoil after some time.
Yeah.
But you can prolong this like significantly by either drying it or smoking it. There's little dry houses and smokestacks that you can use, well, not every but most of the villages, which really prolong the shelf time of any food. And it also usually lowers the weight of those items. So if you have limited inventory, this is a good thing to do. It's very fast
Okay.
and very useful. The same work for herbs. Herbs now get spoiled, so just by, drying them, you can avoid this. You'll brew the best potions with fresh herbs, but there are perks which will allow you to do these best qualities or best tiers of potions even with dry herbs.
The best and fastest remedy for that is chamomile decoction. Luckily, it ain't too hard to brew, but we'll need some fresh sage for it. And of course, chamomile.
Yeah, the game looks good, like visually.
People in medieval Bohemia
The first one,
loved
too.
their drink. After all, we didn't know much about water safety
Hey, yo.
at the time, so alcohol tended to be safer. And there weren't any open world RPGs around at that time either, so options for entertainment were more limited. In KCD2, booze can be both a blessing and a curse.
What I tell you.
So drinking usually can help you a lot. Basically, any alcohol will give you some positives when you're like only slightly drunk. And there's a lot of perks that will even improve this, but be very careful, because if you overdo this, if you get really drunk, it will give you a lot of negative stats. And there's also always the danger of being addicted to alcohol, so be careful with that. There's like stages of addiction that will get progressively worse.
Oh, shit.
Also, if you get so drunk that you will like fall unconscious, because we are Kingdom Come and every NPC is simulated, so if some NPC will encounter you unconscious, and if you especially have low reputation with him, they can steal your clothes or weapons. And because Kingdom Come, now NPCs, even when they pick something up and it's kind of similar to what they're already wearing, they can wear it themselves. So situation can happen when you just fall unconscious because you're drunk. And when you wake up, you see somebody wearing your shoes or your hat. Be careful about that.
What? Oh, crap. Okay, that's cool. I like
One of
that.
Henry's biggest character moments in the first KCD was learning how to read, which was so rare it was practically a superpower in the Middle Ages, and he can continue his erudite journey into KCD 2.
There's also a new skill, scholarship. You gain experience in that by some dialogue choices, but mostly by reading books. And there are perks in this skill that will help you gain experience in all the other skills. Read books, always.
Okay. A likely story.
Whether you're an academic, a drunk, or both, your role-playing possibilities will expand to fit your personality.
My God, where are your clothes?
You don't got no clothes on?
Mind your own bloody business.
How rude.
Actually, there are perks in drinking skill and in scholarship that will unlock completely new dialogue options with guards, and you can use these new dialogue options to get away from crime. And they are really funny, especially the one from drinking. Really, unlock them, try those, it's really funny.
And what do you want from me? Why are you bothering me?
Well, I mistook you for one of my friends. He's also a guard. And we're always getting into a bit of mischief, you know?
No, I don't know.
Drunkenly explaining why you didn't kill the chicken is hilarious.
You want to fight, do you?
Enough. I give up.
I don't know what your problem is, but you're not going to fight with me, you bastard.
Okay, pay a fine. Just,
Sorry, God. It's just I had a drink or two today.
And you thought you could just fight with me? Well, you made a serious fucking mistake. You thought...
hold on. What were the options? I'll pay the fine. I accept my punishment. We can come to an agreement. Do you know who I am? Let me go or else. The law is on my side. I just had a bit to drink. Okay, I guess this is your skill level for I guess drinking. Yeah, this looks a little bit different. This looks just a little bit different. All right, this is your coin purse. This is how much money you have. I guess this is your skill for being able to talk your way out of situations. Okay.
Sorry, God. It's just I had a drink or two today.
And you thought you could just fight with me? Well, you made a serious fucking mistake.
While Henry's abilities and even attire can affect his chance of success in different social situations, like being well-dressed giving you more play with the nobles, and being covered in blood letting you scare off bandits easier, these buffs and debuffs don't only apply to you.
Always remember that all the skill checks with NPCs are based on your and their statistics and skills. And in our game, you can actually influence even their skills. For example, if you really want to use your charisma in a skill check, it's kinda calculating against how good they are looking. So, night before, you can steal their fancy clothes. Or if you want to intimidate them, it might be easier if you poison them a little bit the day before, and they will be easier to intimidate.
In the
poison
first game,
people?
it can be
Okay.
a bit of a pain to optimize your fit for every possible
You know
situation.
what? In the first one, I remember you was able to poison people in the first one. I don't think I've ever like successfully did that. I don't know if I ever tried to or not. 'Cause I know sometimes you'll go to a camp and they'll have like a pot over a fire like outside, and I will have like certain poisonous items, toxic items, but I don't think I ever tried to use it to poison before.
After all, it takes quite a while, even on an inventory screen, to squeeze out of heavy plate armor and into something a bit snazzier or sneakier. But KCD2 has made this a breeze.
There's also now 3 clothing outfits, basically presets, which you can quickly swap in your inventory.
Nice, nice. Cause I remember I had a couple of things that I wanted to like address about the first one that I hope they improve in the second one. So I'm gonna bring that up at the end of this. At the
It's
end of
now
this.
much easier to have your heavily armored Henry, your sneakily Henry, and your very charismatic Henry. It affects even prices in shops. So it's all
Oh, look like okay. Let's see. Speech, charisma, speed, conspicuousness, noise, visibility. Hold on, let me see. What was the skill set for the sneaky fit? Visibility 21. I mean, he's wearing damn near all black. Unless you're gonna wear a shiesty. How do you get it down to like 0? Vitality.
Henry and your very charismatic Henry. It affects even prices in shops. So it's always a good idea to, when you're selling or your loot from killing and exploring, it's usually a good idea to change your clothes. You can do it quickly
Wash
now.
your face.
Wash yourself in baths, and then you will gain quite a lot more money than you would do otherwise.
Oh, I like
Then you
that.
will
I
gain
like
a
that.
good idea
His
to
hands
change
were
your clothes.
dirty.
You can do it quickly.
Look how dirty his hands were at first. Right? And after he washed his
Now,
face,
wash yourself in baths, and then you will gain quite a lot more money than you would
now he's clean. I like that.
do otherwise.
This far along on Henry's journey though, he's not necessarily just dressing for the job he wants, rather than the job he has. No, he's a bit more of a force to be reckoned with, and it's possible to flaunt this with certain enemies who really don't have any business crossing swords with him.
We also introduced battle cries. It's very good for roleplay because it's really fun to just roar away.
For glory!
But also in our game, all your opponents always like carefully gauge how well the combat is going. For example, when you are like in a very strong armor, completely bloodied with a high stats, and he's really low level enemy, he could just flee immediately. You know, it could be like attempted ambush, they will see you and they will say, oh, fuck, and go away. But usually it's like more nuanced. They will not flee immediately. And battle cries actually really help with this. If they're like close to like giving up, you can just shout at them and they will just flee. And there's also perks that will heavily improve that. And there's perks that will unlock very, very funny battle cries. So definitely do that.
Christ! I'm
I
hit!
feel quite hungry!
What?
Fuck you.
There are tons more little things to discover in Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 for the sharp-eyed explorers out there, so don't hesitate to take it slow and try out new things. But if you're in the mood for even more from KCD2, make sure to check out our exclusive hands-on preview, the first 43 minutes of gameplay, and more all December long as our exclusive IGN First coverage of Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 continues.
They got 43 minutes of gameplay out? Damn, bro. I'm gonna have to check that out next. I'm gonna have to check that out next. But you know, real quick, I just want to point this out because I played and I ended the first one, right? And I had a couple of things that I actually felt it can probably, I guess, take a look at. Let me see. Actually wrote these down like months ago. I'm surprised I still have them in my notes. Let me see. So I wrote, let's see, things to improve in KCD. First things that I like. Things I like in KCD, right? The first one. You have to learn how to read in order to craft potions and do certain missions. So I thought that was pretty actually cool that you have to learn how to read and then like practice reading and whatnot. And then as you're learning a little bit, you'll be able to decipher certain letters. And then the more you read, you unlock, I guess, more like letters and things become easier to read. So I thought that was kind of cool. What else? How important the time of day affects what you can and cannot do. Like there's certain missions you can only do like at nighttime or or during the day. Like for example, the stores are only open during the day. The store owners, they have somewhere to go, like after a certain time. Like they close down their shop, lock the door. Sometimes they live in their shop, like they'll live like upstairs or in the basement or something, or in a back room of their shop. So if you break in, you'll probably encounter them like in their bed sleeping. If you break into a store after hours because maybe there was a sword that you saw that was very expensive, you couldn't afford it, and you figured, hey, you know what? Let me see if I can steal it instead. All right. So I like that. I like how the time affects the whole experience of the gameplay. Let's see. Favorite mission was the undercover mission in the monastery as a brand new monk looking to find a criminal who's hiding from his ops. By choosing to live in the church monastery as a brand new monk himself. Oh yeah, I did a mission. I don't remember if it was a main mission or a side mission. Um, but I remember in this mission I had to go undercover. I had to join a monastery. Like it took me days to complete this mission. I'm not gonna like real life days. I'm not gonna lie, because I was trying to do it perfectly, and I really wanted to solve the mystery. Because I mean, you could fail the mission and the game just continues, but I wanted to solve it the right way. There was a guy who, I guess he murdered somebody. Um, and he was a criminal, whatever. He was hiding, so he joined the monastery, like monks and stuff like that. And he decided to take on that lifestyle. And he basically lived in the church. And the only way to find out who he was, I had to join their monastery, take their oath and all that, and I had to live the way they lived, eat at the time they eat, study at the time that they studied, right? You know, they study, religious stuff. And then I had chores where I had to like do I had to do like alchemy stuff and a whole bunch of other stuff. And while I'm doing these day-to-day missions, and it's like the time of the day, like at 2 p.m. in the game, I better be doing my chore, or 2 p.m. or 3 p.m. I better be eating with everybody else, or 5 p.m. I better be studying or whatever. It was like that. It was like you had to follow the time. There's no alarm clock. You have to literally just follow the time. And you got like a little book that told you what time you had to do everything. And I felt so damn like invested. I felt so immersed. And I spent days just living like a monk in the game before I was like, all right, let's really try to figure out who's the guy that's here that is hiding from his crimes. I had to figure out who he was, and I had to either kill him or tell him to disappear. That way I could still get my reward and pretend that I killed him, or whatever the case is. And that was such a dope mission, bro. It was my favorite mission in that game. Such a dope mission. It was so immersive. So anyway, those are the things that I liked about KCD. And then really quickly, the things that I wanted them to improve, the map icons. Let's see, sometimes it's really hard to see where exactly on the map they want you to go. So I can't remember um exactly what the issue was, but I do remember like the map icons. There's something about it that it made it difficult to realize where I needed to go exactly sometimes. So hopefully they improve on the way the maps are. Um, Also, let's see. I wrote this months ago. They should add the time next to the compass on the HUD. I have to go into my inventory menu to see what time it is. Yeah, that was another thing. So you have like a little compass while you're playing the game, like on your HUD while you're running around and stuff. It will be such a like quality of life if, because a lot of things have to do with the time, right? And especially when I was doing the monastery missions, where I had to keep on checking to see what time it was, so that way I can go on and do the next thing. If they can just put a little time, a little clock next to your compass, that'll make a big difference. Just quality of life stuff. Um, so that was one. Let's see. Clearly identify when is evening. For example, give a time window of an appropriate time to start the mission. Oh yeah, because there's some missions where they'll be like, oh, go talk to such and such. They'll be over here in the evening, and it's like, all right, evening. Does that mean after 5 o'clock, after 6 o'clock, after 8 o'clock? Like what exactly is the evening? You know, I remember I was trying to do certain missions like in the morning, like oh in the morning time, and then I'll get there like 6 o'clock in the morning, and it's like it's not ready yet, and then it turns out that the morning isn't until 9 o'clock in the morning. So it's like just make it clear, make it a clear window. Like all right, morning is between I don't know 9 and 12 or 6 and 12. You know. And then also says for PC players, make walking, jogging, and horse trotting speed. Oh, yes. Make the walking, jogging, and horse trotting speed match the speed of the NPCs that you are following. Like, have you ever played a game where you have to follow somebody? Like it's like you talk to somebody and they're like, all right, come with me. And then you're walking with them and they're like talking to you while you're walking with them. And you don't know where they're going. It doesn't show on the map where they're going. You simply just supposed to walk with them. But your character, your character's walk speed just so happens to be faster than the NPC that you're following is. Either it's faster or it's slower. So you gotta like run a little bit and then stop and walk. And then when you realize you're walking too fast, then you gotta stop walking so you can catch up. And then you walk a little bit and then stop, walk a little bit and stop. Or if you walk too slow, you gotta like jog a little and then walk and then jog a little bit and walk to keep up. Like that, it's 2024. It's gonna be 2025 when this come out. There's so many games that actually fix that. Like in Cyberpunk 2077, if you have to follow somebody, the it's not so much like the like your walking speed is the same as theirs, but in Cyberpunk, the game actually slows you down to keep up with them. Like if you're walking with them, the game actually slows you down when you catch up to them when you're walking. So that way you actually walk with them. Or if you don't want to control me, at least make whatever my natural walking speed, make that be the base natural walking speed for everybody in the game. Like my NPC's walking speed shouldn't be like slower than my walking speed. You know what I mean? And especially if you're playing on PC, because on PC it's not like an analog where you can just like kind of like slowly move the analog stick. In PC, you press a button to walk, and then you just gotta hold down W. There ain't no pressure sensitivity for holding down W, so it's just it's just full send on PC. So if they can actually do that, like if you're walking with somebody, you walk exactly the same speed. If you're jogging next to them, you're jogging the same speed. All right, sprinting, all right, I get it. If you want to sprint faster, okay. But jogging and walking should be the same speed as everybody else in the game. Horse trotting, when you're like horse riding behind somebody, you gotta follow them on horse. Just like in Red Dead Redemption, come on, we've seen Red Dead Redemption. In Red Dead Redemption, they don't even let you have to like play. You can just once you get close enough to them, you can press a button to just stay in formation with them. So you just be in formation. You'll be either right next to them or right behind them, and you don't even have to hold the controller anymore. The game just goes. Quality of life. And if you don't have to focus on that, you can be a little bit more immersed, and you can actually pay attention to what's being said rather than having to focus on walking and keeping up and staying close. I mean, I don't think that's asking for too much. In 2025, I don't think that's asking for too much. Red Dead Redemption, they've been doing that. Red Dead Redemption came out years ago, and they did that years ago. Cyberpunk 2077 came out years ago, like 4 or 5 years ago. 5 years? About 4 years ago, I believe, right? Red Dead Redemption? No, Cyberpunk? Yeah, about like 4 years ago. And they did that. So I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying. Can we get that? I hope that's not too much to ask. But anyway, let me get off this one. I'm gonna check out this 43-minute video. I gotta see what's going on with Henry and them. And hopefully I can get a little bit more insight as to like where the story is going. Cause the way the first one ended, I mean it's clear that they was gonna make a sequel because it didn't really the first one felt like a prologue. Like the whole game felt like a prologue. It was just learning how to become a man. That's what it felt like. Like the first KCD, it was like learning to become a man. So all right, now we a man. Now what? So hopefully this one tells me something.